Hello guys, it's nearly 9:30, and I've just finished my fifth successful trade of the morning. GJ short for just over 17 pips net of spread. I didn't draw this one in prior to the trade, but that is a sensible descending trend line to put on this H1 chart. Not that it makes any difference to my trade, but it's important to note. Let's start on the lower time frame, and I'll show you what exactly I did. So H1, there's the trade. Wanted this to turn red. I didn't take this trade up here because it was into this support level here. You know, this would look like a potentially safe entry here, and it was a valid entry. Everything tied up, I think, unless I'm mistaken, but I won't complicate things by going on to the other charts, the 5-minute charts. But I know definitely I waited for everything to be in alignment for this. So clearly got a downtrend in place, high, low, lower, high, lower, low, pullback, continuation. I waited for the break of these little support levels here, and it closed below on the 1-minute chart. So the lowest of those was there. This doesn't. I just like to be ultra careful. So you know, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have different entries than me occasionally. We can't be totally unambiguous with this. It's as near as mechanical trading as you can get. We know there's volatility in the market. I've got my days mixed up with bin men and things today, so I'm not sure. I'm not going to look at the news to see whether it is news, but I think there's news at 9:30. So I was conscious of that and wanting to be out of the market before the news. So I'm glad it closed before the 9:30 news. I might be wrong. It might be tomorrow, because as I say, I've got my days wrong. I was all ready to put the bins out, and I realised they don't have to go out till tomorrow. So sorry about that. But anyway, back to this trade. So we can clearly see we've got we're below zero with the 1 minute. Everything was downtrend in place. Connected these two, that high there with that low, and once the price had gone through that level, we can run down. And I added this to just confirm where I wanted to put my stops, and as you can see, it was quite safe behind there. And I wouldn't normally put a stop in. I'd just put a safety stop up here, but you can see it was just down there because I went and made a coffee while this was doing a little bit of drawdown. And then once again, as you can see, it absolutely collapsed at that point there, and we got our trusty indicator turned red as well, so you could have got another perfect entry there. Sometimes I add to trades, and that would have been the perfect point to enter there. So just more food for thought. In fact, wait till that turns red and then trade the break of the red. So the actual entry would have been on that little red candle there for an additional portion, as it were. So and that was my entry over here. Wait for the break of this support, just enter. Directly it breaks these support levels here, and everything else, as you know, is standard bog standard method. Low, high, high, low, high, 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 low, lower, high, lower, low, and even you can even do that song there. The green candle low to high, red candle low to high is your high, low, high, higher, low, higher, high, high, low, lower, high, lower, low, and entry. And I do even wait for pullbacks on these ones as well, and then enter on the break of the low of the previous trigger candle, if you like. So just to run through the other time frames, clearly see 5 minute had closed red, 5 minute bar prior to my entry on that candle there, that bar. Same here, although this is more important to you because you can't use this indicator. 15 minute, similar situation. We'd turned red below zero prior to my entry. So everything was per. It's just a question of waiting and waiting. I didn't draw a trend line on here, but for your benefit I will do. Come on, something's lagging my computer again. Connect those levels there, and then we could potentially connect those levels there on the 15 minute. Yes, when I entered it had broken. No, it hadn't quite made a lower low, high low, lower high, lower low. No, it didn't quite break that low there, but not to worry. It was, I'm getting into the technicals, but you know what I'm looking for all the time. This would have been absolutely 100% perfect if this high, low, lower, high, lower, low. It doesn't even show it on the line chart, which I use a lot, as you know. I can see that didn't break that low there, and I didn't quite enter on the break of that low either. So, but actually, this didn't make a uptrend. Low, high, higher, low. Oh, it did slightly. Anyway, I digress. Sorry. 15 minute. We just used the candlestick analysis. Clearly see we'd broken through. We'd made made a little trend here: high, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, and the break of that low was the start of the lower low, and that's the trend. And as you can see, it's collapsed anyway, the price. And critically, we were correct on the 15 minute. We'd closed red again, and now this is massively important. You can't wait at the volatile times, which is near the news or between Frankfurt and London Open. You cannot always wait for the confirmation, in other words the close of the bar on these higher time frames like the 30 minute and the hourly. So you're just going to have to learn by watching this price action how these sorry, I just can't stop doing this. Whenever I see these trend lines, I like to change them. I always do that. That's just my habit. It's not for your benefit. So now clearly this has potentially more room to go, because we've actually broken now and closed on that half hourly candle, and that's why this is potentially continuing on down. It was always looking bearish anyway, in my eyes, purely because of the way the indicator is. It's flatlining there, and this great big downtrend that we took off the hourly chart there. And now the hourly, again, if we'd have waited for the hourly to close, and then we'd have to wait for the pullback, and then we'd have to wait for all the other ducks to form in a row, in other words the 15 minute, 5 minute and 1 minute, and then there's a potential entry there. So there is a potential entry short still here if you're prepared to sit in front of your charts for another 3 hours or an hour or whatever. But until we have a pullback, then everything else does. This will turn green and we want it to be red, and so on and so forth. That's what I mean by everything lining up in a row, and that's what I waited for this. I knew I couldn't hold on for the hourly and the 30 minutes. So I had to use all the other tools in the toolbox: trend line analysis, time of day, as I say, ascending and descending trend lines, and the all-important RSI histo alert. So this, in my eyes, was as near a perfect trade as I could possibly get, with all those I's dotted and T's crossed. And as you can see, since my entry, it's moved a further, but I'm happy with 17 pips, just over 17 pips. Moved another 50 odd pips down to that 129.50 level. So, and this is a good bounce level now, because potentially long traders put their stops behind these 50 levels, and the institutions are hunting the stops. So this could bounce strongly back to maybe that trend line or the 8 hourly MA, and then continue down. But as usual, guys, disclaimer time. Don't trade what I say. Learn to trade like I trade, if that floats your boat, and then you're good to go. So I am not a signals provider. I am just a retail trader trying to pass on some of my experience. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. I'm going out with the dog. 5 trades, 5 winners, and this was 3 times my daily requirement just on this trade. 3 times plus. So loving the volatility. Stay safe, guys, and keep washing those hands.